All right, limited time series number 1, Lamborghini Aventador SVJ Championship. All right, the gold reward for completing this limited time series is going to be 75 gold. And of course, this is the new updated version of Aventador. So at the end of, the last limited time series we had in the last version, 7.5, was the was it 2012 Aventador, I think, right? And this one is new 2018 Aventador. So newly updated. Yes. So let's check that out. Lamborghini Aventador SVJ Championship. The usual message. Earn the car by 100% completing this special limited time series. 45 gold trophies in all, right? Truly incredible evolution of the Aventador, powered by the most powerful V12 engine Lamborghini has ever created. Right, V12. Yeah, and it's one very bold yellow. I like those bright colors, especially for night races, easier to spot. Anyway, here is the breakdown of that 75 gold rewards, broken down into 25% completion increment. And for this one, so the most gold is in that last 25%, right? 30 gold plus the car. So I have a feeling, since this is a new car, there is gonna be no free gold to be won, I'm afraid. But anyway, let's find out for sure. They say the PR required to complete this limited time series is 75.1, and the car's stock PR is 62.8. So that is about 12.3 PR points that we need to bump it up to, right? So, or bump it up by. So if we get like about 4 PR point boost per tier, that would mean 3 upgrades across the board. Following the usual scenario, it would be first tier upgrades, racing dollars, second tier gold, third tier racing dollars, So I'm anticipating this is not going to be it won't deviate from that pattern. But anyway, we'll use gold to get it done right away. I like that ball. That's cool. Anyway, let's collect the prize for the time being so we can check out what's required here. Pretty cool. And the stock PR is 62.8. All right. And let us go to the final tier, tier 15. The cup is going to be at Monza Road Course. Of course it is. All right. It's going to be 4 laps. Ooh. All right. And more importantly, what's the PR requirement here? 75.1. So the information on the website is accurate. So there's that. Good to know. And as I was saying, the first tier upgrades are going to be all racing dollars, I believe. 8-hour race upgrade time. All right. So this one has 75 gold as series reward, right? Which is same as the race day event, right? And race day event costed us 375 gold to upgrade the car to meet the PR requirement for completion, right? So this car PR is comparable, I would say. So of course, this car is not in the motorsports section, so There might be slight deviation there, but this car's cost is actually slightly higher if you're to go out and buy it, just flat out without any discount. This car is worth 750 gold. So yeah, compared to the old Aventador, which was racing dollar purchase, yep, they've definitely updated. But anyway, so first tier racing dollar upgrade here, 8 hours for, I'm assuming, all 7 categories. So let's get them done. This one, engine's gonna give us 0.6 PR point boost, looks like. All right, let's move on. Drivetrain, 74,200. All right, and this one's gonna be 0.7 PR point boost. All right, and then the body usually a little less, 0.5 PR point boost, and slightly cheaper as well, 58,900 racing dollars for the body. And suspension, we get 0.6 PR point boost, which is pretty good. That's the best one so far, right? 68,000 racing dollars for that. And exhaust, another good return on the investment. So, but this one, 0.7 PR point boost. I feel like I miscounted. But anyway, not as good as suspension, but 67,200 racing dollars for exhaust. Very comparable though, in general, those two. And then brakes, usually the cheapest one, even cheaper than the body. And it's gonna be giving us 0.6 PR point boost for this one. And 52,000 racing dollars. All right, and finally, tires and wheels. We're gonna get another 0.6 PR point boost for this upgrade. And the cost is 62,400 racing dollars. But really, 8 hours is what we're really more concerned about, right? So get them going right away, because I have a feeling that second tier, we're gonna hit the PR block, right? Yep, PR 65.1 is required to complete the tier 2. So that means you need to get at least a few of those first tier racing dollars done. So for now, we'll use gold to get them done right away, which brings the PR up to 66.9, which obviously is enough to get us past the tier 2 and maybe one more. I have a feeling tier 4, which is where you get to claim the 25% completion, probably not going to let us go through this one. So what's the PR requirement here? 67.1, so 0.2 PR point higher than what we get. And even if you ignore the decimal points, yes, we are, well, actually, if you ignore the decimal point, we are a whole point below, right, what's required. So that's no good. So I have a feeling that this one, the PR bug, is not going to work in our favor. So that's pretty typical for most of these limited time series of new cars. So no free gold available in this event as far as I can tell. But anyway, we need more upgrades. So let's find out. I'm anticipating the second tier gold upgrades to be gold upgrades. All right. By the way, we started at 62.8 PR and now we're up to 66.9. So that is increase of 4.1 PR points. So we're on target because we need to bring up about 12 and change PR point up to meet the PR requirements. So maybe we'll get another 4 point or so in this second tier gold upgrades. So we got 65 gold for engine, which is going to give us a boost of 0.6 PR points, and followed by, of course, the racing dollar third tier upgrade. That's kind of anticipating. I expected, right? 18 hours for those. So we'll come back for those. But let's get the second tier gold upgrades first. Drivetrain, 60 gold, and we get 0.7 PR point boost. 65 and 60. This is curiously similar to the upgrade cost of the GT cars in race day event, right? So maybe this will be identical cost in terms of the gold cost. All right, so body 48, yeah, that is exactly the same so far. That's 343, and the PR boost here is 0.8 PR point. Whoa, that is good, right? Or no, 0.4 PR point boost, I was gonna say. It's been a long day. I should not do this math online, you know? All right, moving on. Suspension. This one gives us a PR boost of 0.6 PR points, and the cost is 55, so that is identical as well. All right, moving on. Exhaust. Of course, same cost as suspension, another 55 gold for that one, and this one we get 0.7 PR point boost. Exhaust, as I was saying, always we get a nice return. And brakes, 42. All right, so, and that's a 0.5 PR point boost for that one. And finally, tires and wheels, and it's 50 gold, so that does add up to exactly 375. So the gold cost to upgrade this car is identical to the Ford GT Le Mans and the Ferrari 488 GTE, the Evo AF Corse, that version, right? The one that I just won. So, all right, and then the second tier gold upgrades does bring the PR up to 71 even. So that is another 4.1 PR point boost, isn't it? All right, so we're right on target. So let's see. Let's try then the third tier, see where we end up. Racing dollars, now it's 18 hours. So not quite as long as those GT cars, because they had a 24-hour wait on the third tier racing dollar upgrade. So a little bit cheaper as well. So racing dollar wise, this one's a little bit more affordable, but you know, I mean, who's counting racing dollars, right? Anyway, let's hope that this brings us the remaining 4.1 PR point. I mean, if we keep up the pace, it's going to be exactly the same, right? Each tier giving us 4.1. That does give us exactly what we need. So let's find out. So starting with engine, 179,300 racing dollars. And we have 0.6 PR point boost for that. And then drivetrain, another 0.6 PR point boost for the cost of 166,800 racing dollars. And body, 0.5 PR point boost for 132,500 racing dollars. And next, suspension, 0.6 PR point boost for 153,000 racing dollars. And exhaust, 0.7 PR point boost. I'm telling you, exhaust is a very nice upgrade. 151,200 racing dollars, so not terribly expensive either. And then up next, brakes, 0.5 PR point boost for the cost of 116,900. And finally, tires and wheels, we get 0.5 PR point boost for the cost of 140,300 racing dollars. Now, does that give us another 4.1 PR point boost? Let's find out. And voila, there it is, 75.1. So as predicted, 3 upgrades across the board for meeting that PR requirement to complete this limited time series to win this car is 75.1. 3 upgrades across the board for the cost of 375 gold, 75 of which you do get back. So net gold cost is 300. And if you're counting racing dollars, first tier racing dollar upgrades upgrade cost adds up to be 462,400 racing dollars. And then the third tier racing dollar upgrades added up is gonna cost 1,040,000 racing dollars. So if you combine the first tier and the third tier upgrade cost together, you get 1,502,400 racing dollars. So not a cheap car, but certainly we've seen a lot more expensive cars. So this is fairly comparable to all the cars that we've recently been seeing in the game. So good deal. All right, so let's now check out, just run through the series real quick and see if we notice anything that might catch us. And by the way, the limited time, this is running, well, right now, obviously, when this video gets uploaded, well, it opened for me, so I don't see why it wouldn't open for you. As long as you're online, you have to be connected, of course. So it's currently running, and it will run through October 28th, Monday, if you're on the Eastern Hemisphere. And if you're on the Western Hemisphere, then it would be Sunday, October 27th. So check your calendars and plan accordingly. All right, you know how the limited time series run. I always think it's a grinder. So, all right. So with that being said, and let's see, the Tier 1, got Autocross and Mountain Panorama, Elimination at Silverstone International, and the Cup is going to be at the Brickyard Road Course. 2 laps to start off, and Tier 1, obviously, there shouldn't be any PR requirement, and there isn't. All right, moving on to Tier 2, we got Endurance at Dubai Club Circuit. So that's a fun little circuit. I like that one. But I'm going to, as always, try to minimize the amount of distance that I have to cover so I can minimize the number of service that I have to perform on this car. All right, and then head-to-head at Spa, most likely a single lap. Yep. And then we checked into this Cup at Red Bull Ring Grand Prix earlier, 2 laps, and once again the PR requirement was 65.1, so you do need some of those first tier racing dollar upgrades done if you want to get past Tier 2. And then Tier 3, we got Hunter at Suzuka West, speed record at Brands Hatch Indy Circuit. And would your car be in red by the time you get to Tier 3? I think generally you do end up in red by the time you get here, because you got let's see, elimination. If you Silverstone is a little bit tricky circuit to play blockade. It's fairly wide open, you know what I mean? Especially international circuit. There aren't too many hard corners that I mean, there are some, but it's so wide, you know, so that might be a little tricky, which means we may have to cover a fair bit of distance. Although Aventador, fairly large car, so maybe it will make that would mean it's easier to play a blockade. I don't know. And then of course we got the 2-lap Cup at the Indianapolis the road course, so that's not exactly short. It's not the longest, but it's not certainly not the shortest. And we got a full lap of head-to-head at Spa. And then Cup at the Red Bull Ring Grand Prix is 2 laps. So when you got all those combined, just full lap races combined, by the time you get to Tier 3, I think your car will be solidly in critical condition. But with that being said, unless, if this series allow us to bot train, by that I mean win by smallest margin of victory possible, or sometimes lose intentionally multiple times, right? Then your speed record at Brands Hatch, the target might be low enough that you can even complete that, even when your car is in critical condition. And of course, by the time you get to tier 3, I'm assuming you would have the first tier racing dollar upgrades completed, and possibly even have those second tier gold upgrades done, right? Because if you're in it to win it, as I said before. No partial bonus for this one. I mean, you come out net negative, so why would you do that? All right. Anyway, so although Brands Hatch speed record, if you're having difficulty, you can always turn around at the beginning, and then you can extend that long straight past the finish line, right? So that's one way to achieve that. And usually, if you do that, you can usually accomplish winning the gold trophy in that. So, and it's tier 3, so it's pretty early on. So I don't expect the bots would be too competitive yet. Anyway, we got 2-lap cup at Mazda Raceway to wrap up tier 3. And tier 4, we got Speed Snap at the short road circuit of Leipzig circuit, Porsche Test Track. Porsche Test Track speed snaps are pretty easy, so I'm not too concerned about that one. However, drag race, now that every drag race is random launch point, they don't have that. It used to be more predictable, but now they've completely randomized. So, we might end up having to service the car in tier 4, possibly. We'll see. Yeah, drag race is such a hit or miss. Either they're super easy, or they are just impossible. I feel like they don't typically come anywhere in between. So, especially with the randomized launch time, it's that seemed unnecessary. Why did they do that? Anyway, tier 4 cup is gonna be at Daytona Road Circuit, 2 laps, and as we saw that PR requirement earlier, it's gonna require 67.1, which is just a couple of decimal point behind what your racing dollar upgrades will give you. So need gold upgrades. What can I say? For those, and we know there are no gold upgrades that cost 8 gold, because 8 gold is what we get for 25% completion. So none of it there. So if you're making your way through tier 4, then you better go all the way. All right, tier 5, we got endurance at Catalunya Club. All right, that's a super short circuit, but it's endurance. So if you've been training bots by tier 5, you might have maybe 3-4 kilometers that you would have to run. We'll see. And then we got a full lap at Hockenheim Grand Prix. It's going to be Hunter. And then cup for tier 5 is at Nürburgring Sprint Circuit, 2 laps, so that's going to be a pretty quick one. And PR requirement for that is 67.9. All right, tier 6. We got head-to-head at Monza Road Course. Most likely a single lap. Yep. And we got speed record at Berlin. I think Berlin, you can pull that off in red. But let's say you have to service the car in tier 4 for that drag race. You should be able to get through tier 5 perfectly in green condition, because 2 laps at Nürburgring Sprint Circuit shouldn't take out too many service bars. and a single lap Hockenheim Grand Prix isn't too bad. And hopefully, endurance, you don't have to endure too long. Which means tier 6, you're still starting out with the car in green condition, which means speed record should be, doable in a single run. Head to head, so yeah, if your car is in green, I'll tackle that speed record first in tier 6. And then we got head to head here at Monza Road. That's a single lap as we checked in earlier, or checked out earlier. And then Cup for tier 6 is at Circuit of the Americas Grand Prix circuit. 2 laps? Yes. And PR requirement is 68.7. All right. And then tier 7, we got elimination at 24-hour circuit. So, that's not a full lap. So, but if you can, of course, play once again, blockade, you might just be able to. Actually, by the time you get to tier 7, I think your car's most likely going to be in red again, in critical condition. Speed snap at Melbourne is usually one of the easier ones, along with Porsche Test Track Dynamic Circuit Speed Snap is one of the easier ones, along with, let's see, what are some other easy speed snaps? Yeah, Melbourne is pretty easy. And then we got a cup at Mount Panorama, 2 laps with the PR requirement of 69.4. All right, so this is all doable with those second tier upgrades, and we should be able to get past tier 9 if this follows the usual trend of limited time series, right? So anyway, tier 8, this is of course where you get to claim 50% completion reward. We got Autocross at Dubai International. We got Hunter at Silverstone National. And the Cup is going to be at Catalunya National. 4 laps with the PR requirement of 70.1. So, yep. So that's still doable with the 2 tiers of upgrades across the board, since that does bring your PR up to 71. And tier 9, we should be able to get past as well, I think. As long as, well, I mean, you might have to, would you need to service the car? Autocross, Hunter, I don't think you do. So after you service the car in tier 4, you might not have to service your car again for a while here. We got head to head at Daytona Motorcycle Course. It's going to be a rolling start, single lap. And then we got elimination at the Brickyard Road Course. And the Cup is going to be at Hockenheim Grand Prix. 3 laps with the PR requirement of 70.8. So just under what your second tier upgrades across the board will give you. So as I was saying, didn't we have Hockenheim Grand Prix Cup earlier? Or was it just I feel like I saw that before. Oh, it was a Hunter. Okay, never mind. Fine. Alright, so anyway. Then did we check? Yeah, we checked the, oh, this is a 3 laps Hockenheim Grand Prix. And the PR requirement, yes, 70.8. Right, we did check into that. All right, moving on. Tier 10, we got speed record at Porsche Test Track, long road circuit. So I don't think that would be too bad. And we got speed snap at Red Bull Ring Grand Prix. Where does that take place? That takes place after that first downhill corner, I think. So that one can be a little tricky, but if we can slow down the bots, I think we should be able to bring we should be able to get through if you're patient enough, or you can just service the car and be done with it too, right? Anyway, Tier 10 Cup is at Suzuka East, and this is going to have a higher lap count. Short circuit, right? 6 laps, and the PR requirement is 71.5, so at this point you're going to need some of those last tier upgrades done. The last tier, by that I mean limited time series last tier upgrades, the third tier racing dollar upgrades, right? Because they take 18 hours. All right, so tier 11, we got endurance at Nürburgring Grand Prix, autocross at Circuit of the Americas National Circuit, and the cup at Silverstone Bridge Grand Prix. 3 laps with the PR requirement of 72.2. All right, moving on, tier 12, that is for your 75% completion. We got elimination at Mount Panorama, and we got Hunter at Dubai Grand Prix, and the cup is going to be at the Bugatti circuit. 3 laps with the PR requirement of 72.8. And tier 13, speed record at Suzuka Grand Prix, speed snap at Mazda Raceway. Speed snap shouldn't be too bad, but speed record at Suzuka might require you to service the car, possibly. It depends how well the bots want to cooperate. All right, then we got cup at Spa, which is going to be 3 laps, so some longer races towards the end of the event as usual, with the PR requirement up to 73.6 here now. And then the penultimate tier, tier 14, we got autocross at Berlin, endurance at Melbourne, and the cup is going to be at Circuit of the Americas Grand Prix. 3 laps with the PR requirement of 74.3. All right, and then final tier, tier 15, we got elimination at Daytona Road. And let's see, I think with this car, you should be able to reach the first corner before 22nd time runs out, right? All right, so I think if you reach here with the car in critical condition, I don't see why you wouldn't be able to get past it. And then we got head-to-head at Hockenheim Grand Prix. All right, and then we got cup at Monza Road, the 4-lapper, right, for the final race. And once again, the PR requirement for that is 75.1, which you can accomplish by getting 3 upgrades across the board for the cost of 375 gold, 75 of which you will get back. All right, and this car is featured, once you win this car, it is featured in a bonus series called Super Speed Factor in Elite section of your career. So it's the very last box. And if you won, like, let's say Ferrari F8 Tributo, this series would be open already. This series features, I think, the 3 cars that are gonna be a lot of fun. I don't know how this Aventador SVJ is going to behave yet, but F8 Tributo was a lot of fun, and I know 720S Coupe McLaren, that is one of the best McLarens in the game. So that's gonna be a fun bonus series to run through, and there's some 77 gold to be won for 100% completing that bonus series. And this Aventador SVJ is the only car that can meet the final PR requirement of 78.2. Yes, that's pretty high. But even, once you win the car with the limited time series PR, the 75.1, I think you should be able to complete 75%. So that should give you at least somewhere in 40, 50 gold range for completing the series 75%. So something to keep in mind. And once I win this car, I'll make a separate video for that bonus series. But for now, that does it for this series overview video. So hope you guys found the information useful. If you like it, click that thumbs up button, the like button, right? Share with your racing buddies, and subscribe and all that fun stuff. So, all right, and in the next video, I'll be getting started on this limited time series. Got to get going, those 8-hour service, not service, R&D time on those first tier upgrades. Gotta get started. So anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Take care, guys.